when I was working through all of that, I came across, I don't know if it was a podcast or a book. For those of you who don't know, a book is like a podcast that you can read with your eyes. So it's a thing that used to be popular. But someone was responding to the idea of how can there be suffering if God is good? And in response, the person that was asked said, that's interesting. I don't serve a God who doesn't know how to suffer. I serve a God who came and suffered and bled and died to show me what love does. And so I go to do the same. And I was floored at that response. I almost wanted to say, I don't know that that's what I signed up for. And I think that's part of the problem. That's not what I had signed up for. But it is what was in the book. It is what is a shared human experience. And all the great thinkers and believers in all the faith traditions, when you get to the mystical roots of them, come to the same conclusion. That deep love and deep suffering, generosity and forgiveness lie at the root of all that is good about being human. And as I thought about that, I thought about my family. And my family is a mixed up mess. I like to say I am America. My mom's side of the family is German, English, Welsh, Jewish, and they were farmers in Ohio. My dad's side of the family is African American and Cherokee, and who knows what else is in there. But my great grandmother's still alive. She's 103 this year. She was born on a Cherokee reservation. And then because her parents didn't want to or weren't able to raise her, she was adopted by a kind white family in North Carolina. It could be that her father was black and that her mother was Cherokee, that she wasn't accepted, but either way she grew up learning that it wasn't the color of the skin that mattered. It was what people did. And 102 years ago, that was weird. If you think about it, that was weird. And so I like to think that I'm weird for that reason. But I think about her life, and I think about her parents' life. And I think about my grandfather on her side's life, and he was a sharecropper. That's not that long ago. And his parents were slaves. And when they sang songs in the field, they didn't sugarcoat the suffering. And they sang the songs about the suffering to endure the suffering. And it made it all somehow more manageable and more beautiful. There's an old song called Watch That Star that sometimes you hear remade at Christmas. And I think it speaks to this. And it goes kind of like this. Oh, watch that star, see how it run. Watch that star, see how it run. When the sun goes down in the western hill. Well, now watch that star, see how it runs, see it run. Some say Jesus bore his cross alone and set the whole world free. No, there's a cross for all to bear, and there's a cross for me. Watch that star. And they'd sing that over and over to the rhythm of the work that they had to do. And when the slave master would hear it, he would think, isn't this great? The slaves have adopted the good news of my religion. And they had. But at the same time, they were teaching their children how to escape to freedom by following the North Star. And you watch the sun when it sets, and then you watch that star, and you run that way, the same way that North Star runs, and you will be free. And in a very real sense, the slaves understood that a gospel that sets you free in spirit will also set you free in truth. That a gospel that promises heaven when you die also promises that God's will is meant to be done on earth as it is in heaven, and that people should be free. And so from the very beginning, it has been the oppressed people who have been able to see to the heart of the gospel. It's why I believe Christ came to the Jewish people who experienced slavery of their own. It's why I believe the truest messages that are spoken to the culture are spoken in response to or by the people who are suffering. So I almost quit my job after writing that last song. I wrote it in response to a child who was killed in a drive-by in my program. And my wife said to me when I was getting ready to go to work and I didn't know what to do, she said, "You love those kids." My job was to teach them about gardening. She said, "You love them more than gardening and you love to sing. Sing with them." And so this song came out of that, and this was the song we used to kind of get through as our theme song. Came to believe that people won't care about their bodies and their health. People won't care about the environment and stewarding creation. People won't care about making a difference in their neighborhood if they feel like they have no value, if they feel like they aren't loved. So that was where this song came from. And it's in the style of an old field song. And just full disclosure, I like to imagine that we're all sitting on a giant front porch, just like Jamboree Hootenanny family reunion style. So if at any point you want to sing, dance, clap, or just wander off and buy amazing produce and goods from your neighbors, do that, okay? Ain't nowhere that the Lord can't go. Ain't nobody that the Lord don't know. Ain't no problem that the Lord can't solve. 'Cause there ain't nobody that the Lord don't love. I was on my own, lost and so confused, wandered far from home. It was all no use. I did not have a prayer. I could not find my way. I thought nobody cared. Then I heard you say, somebody say, ain't no way that the Lord can go. Ain't nobody that the Lord don't know. Ain't no problem that the Lord can't solve. 'Cause there ain't nobody that the Lord don't love. All that I've seen and everywhere I've been, I am so unclean, I could never be whole again. All I know is pain. It's knocked me to the ground. He said, let go of your shame, child, lay your burdens down. Somebody said, ain't nowhere that the Lord can go. Ain't nobody that the Lord don't know. Ain't no problem that the Lord can't solve. 'Cause there ain't nobody that the Lord don't